that time again. Welcome.
That time, Northside plug time.
Welcome back, everybody.
9:30 p.m. You already know. Are we on the dot today?
On the dot, yeah.
We're a little
a minute early.
According to my laptop, we're a minute early today.
Early to the show.
Look at that. Look at us. Who would have thought? Not me.
How does it go on the show? Northside plug. We back, baby. How y'all feeling today? Go ahead, Justin.
Good. I was just gonna introduce Justice behind the deck. Got Boss Dan to the left of me. G Money G Note to the left of him.
Yo.
And then our special guest tonight, my roommate and friend Amber.
Hey. How you feeling?
I feel great. What's up, guys?
Chilling.
How y'all doing tonight?
Oh,
Doing
we're
well,
great.
doing well.
Doing great.
Well, I'm doing
It's
great.
good.
Yeah, we had a lot that the Northside Plug team did these past couple weeks. With the All-Star Weekend now coming to a close.
The NBA is finally back. It's been, 4-day hiatus?
Yeah. Games coming back tonight. First off, so we were recorded last Thursday, and when we were leaving, these two men on my either side were talking about how they had to get up at 4 a.m. on Friday. It's like, why do these boys have to get up at 4 a.m. on Friday? Well, they had to get to their butts to Navy Pier.
Oh, yeah.
Early in the morning at the butt crack of dawn to go see our boys Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman,
And they did it.
and the whole First Take crew, and they got in.
And they got up and
How was that
went.
experience? I was waiting for the first story post, and I just see you like just staring down. I think it was Max Kellerman was like right to your right, and you're just like trying to get around. It's about that. Tell us about that.
It was crazy, man. So yeah, like right after the show last week, Justin and I slid on Justin, and we pretty much woke up around like 5:30ish.
Yeah.
Dipped out to Navy Pier because the show starts we're Central Time, so they start at 9.
Yeah.
So I don't even remember what time we got there. Probably around like 7:30 or whatever, And we're just waiting in line. We thought we were gonna be early. Like I had anticipated we were gonna be early and everything. That didn't happen.
No.
We were one of the last ones. So basically, we were like out of everybody that was there. Like one of the dudes was literally like counting up the people, and it just stopped at like 10 or 20 people after us. They were like, they chopped it off.
Oh my God.
And they were like, y'all gotta leave. Y'all the last
People
group.
had to leave. All people were pissed.
It had to have been like
They were
30
so
people
pissed.
behind us, bro.
Baby.
At least
And they're
30
trying
people.
to wiggle their way in. They're like, yeah, I need someone to help us.
Oh, baby, I would have wiggled, twerked,
Right.
salt shaker, whatever I had to do, I would have been in there. with The rest of the people.
Had to finish. I know they were salty, bro. And it was and it's wild because like it was 2 days. They were there Thursday and Friday, and one of the guys that was behind us, I think you may have heard, he was saying how like there wasn't as many people on the Thursday that there was on Friday.
Because people probably didn't know about it.
Exactly.
And then they found out about it, and they're like, oh, they're going to be there tomorrow, too?
Yeah.
So you know how that goes.
Yeah,
got
so
to
it was
meet-
teed. Go ahead, bro.
We got to meet briefly Dwayne Wade. That was the thing that like really put the cherry on top for me, was seeing Dwayne Wade walk in. That man just looked like money, just straight up.
They
He
all
just
looked
did.
like stars, just A-list, bro. They were just all
But Dwayne Wade in particular, bro, just the way like you saw what he walked in with, bro. Like I'd never seen anything like that, and only Dwayne Wade would pull something like that. And just like realize in that moment that like I'm in the same room as like a champion. Like, a
Yeah.
I mean,
straight-up
honestly, if I
Three-time
was in the room with him now, I would feel a little different. So I know you gotta know what's going on with him and his daughter,
Yes, I do.
son. Well, I don't know if he had the surgery yet, but he's supposedly gonna have the surgery soon if
But
he
he's
hadn't
just
done it.
identifying.
And honestly, how do you feel about that, Justin? Because I think I would feel different. Like, he's still Dwayne Wade. It doesn't take anything from him. But at the same time, it just makes me question where his mental is as a father, because I feel like at that age, you really don't know anything.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess like you know your own kid the best, and if that's what's going to, I don't know. Everybody has their own methodology when it comes to parenting, and I think that, I don't know, at least for the majority, he's a good example of how a father should at least approach the dialogue that surrounds these types of issues for a lot of families that they don't deal with it, but it's a touchy subject. But I don't think that takes away from anything that he's done.
No, it definitely doesn't. It's just makes me look at him different.
I think.
How you feel about it? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Dan. I'm gonna let Dan hit that one.
I think it is a very unique situation, and I think it's especially with a person of his stature and his status being faced with something like this, I think he's handled it very well. And
yes,
I think
I agree.
And I mean, as a parent, like, I mean, this is such like, it's a growing issue, of course, today in America with kids changing genders, or just like the spectrum is just getting broader and broader every day, it seems. And I think that as a parent, all you can really do is just support your child. And I think he's doing a great, and he came out in like all the statements he made about it and just being like, we're going to support her and like whatever she wants to do. And I think especially at this age, and we're like, because like he's not going to come out and say something like crazy, because if he does, then everyone's going to be like what's Dwayne Wade's tripping?
Man.
Like, exactly.
He's one of the few NBA players that are like sitting pretty after retirement. You know what I mean? He
even said he's trying to carry like the tradition that Kobe was leaving out. You know,
like he's already a huge influencer, and he's
but like money to the side, because when you die, that don't mean anything. Money to the side, it's like, do you care about the upbringing of all the other black men and their sons that look up to you? And when with the media pushing this emasculation of men, you know what I mean? Like, you already see what they're trying to do to young African American boys. So it's like, I will keep it out the, you know, it's okay for him to love his son for the rest of his life, but keep that part private. At the end of the day, these celebrities, they keep everything that they want public and everything that they want private. So maybe until Dwayne Wade understood what he was doing, he should have just like kept it private. You know, because my thing is, when I was younger and I did something I didn't supposed to do, my mama made sure I knew not to do it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, he said that maybe 2 or 3, his daughter knew, his son knew. So I don't know if he was a little boy saying, I want to be a girl or what. But I feel like the time that it was to be controlled is gone, long gone. So it's out of his control now. So of course now you have to accept it. But why didn't you snatch this a long time ago before he really thought that he wanted? You know what I mean?
I feel like
I mean, how do it, like any other than this? How do you approach it? And like, he's at such a cross streams as a father, because he has to consider his whole brand, which kind of steadfast his whole family's well-being into consideration with every entity that invests in him, because like he's a worldwide brand. And I don't disagree with his methods to push to take pride in a situation for someone accepting who they are, rather than like fighting a life of resentment with the people closest in your life and doing that thing anyway in a possibly unsafe manner. You know what I mean? Like, imagine a bunch, like 10 years of resentment down the road, and then they get a botched surgery, and then they're fucked for life.
But what about waiting 10 years?
That's what I was gonna say. This is the thing. Like, I feel like obviously it's a touchy subject in general, and especially with it being a kid. But I feel like this is what I would do if I were Dwayne Wade. If I were Dwayne Wade, and you know, I understand stature and who I am and everything, but at the same time, like if the kid is comfortable with putting himself out in this limelight, because the kid knows who his dad is, you know, the kid knows that like his life is going to be different forever. And if this was something of his choice that was like, that they maybe spoke upon and was like, hey dad, like, you know, this is what I got going on, I'm okay with it being out there, you know. I feel like if that's a mutual decision at the age that he's at, like, that's cool, that's whatever, that's their family business. Now when it goes to the next level of like, okay, we're gonna take this to surgery and we're gonna that's Jesus. A whole different situation.
Jesus.
Now I feel like this is a child, and you know, like, no matter how certain of what he/she wants to choose, I feel like, I don't know what the certain age is in terms of actually having surgery, but whether it's 18, 21, I feel like if I was a father, I'd be like, yo, like, I'm comfortable with you being comfortable with yourself, but I'm not comfortable with you changing your body when you're not even. Like,
I think it's all too much too soon.
You know?
That's fair. That's fair,
Yeah, I just think it's like a bit too much too soon. It's like, chill. And how about you give it a few years? Let's have this conversation when you're 16, and let's see if you still feel that same 100%. Way. And then work as hard as you can the next couple of years to show them that Punani is the way you want to go. Not Pinani. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is his son, and he do gotta love his son regardless. And the son seems very intelligent. Like, I was watching videos, and he can just have like a full flex conversation like a young adult, and that's what's up.
More than one language.
And that's what's up.
A lot of I mean, even people like Kobe Bryant, you know what I mean? He was born in America. He could speak fluent languages, just having that advantage, that like that mindset that, you know.
Well, he'd also lived in like Italy. And
Yeah, I was
stuff.
gonna say he spent a lot of his time in Italy.
Right. And he's beloved in China. I would be surprised if he didn't know a little Mandarin.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Well, China's probably harder. I went there, and I only remember one thing, and that's I love you.
So who else did you guys see at First Take?
Bro, wait, yo. It was crazy because like I'm gonna continue the story where I left off. So like we got in and everything, right?
Mhm.
So there was a trade off between like getting there early and then being later. So if you got there super early, you were one of the first people. You got like a front row seat basically.
Yeah,
You're watching
you were
the
like
whole
TV.
show.
You were like on TV.
Damn near on TV,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Justin and I, like, we kind of found our niche in it because it was like we were one of the last, but when towards the end, it was like right where everybody was walking in.
Mhm.
So we were the first ones to see Stephen
Mhm.
A, Max Kellerman, bro. Like, I'm gonna just give my perspective and then I'm gonna hand it off to Justin. But bro, like, I dabbed up with Max Kellerman, bro. I dabbed up with D Wade. I dabbed up with Common, and I dabbed up
Common,
with
Common.
Zach Levine. G.
Oh,
It was
Zach
so
Levine.
dope. It was so dope,
Common was
bro.
really, really good energy.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
really good energy.
I wish I could meet Common.
It was cool. I was like, hey, Common, my boy's the hottest producer in Chicago, bro. He was like, much love, man. No, much respect, much
bro.
respect.
Much respect. That's what's up. Much respect. What about you, Justin?
My
Anything?
experience,
Yeah, or just
it
anything-
was surreal
anything
for
wanna
me. You
add?
know what I mean? Like, I don't get to experience many things like that I don't have to pay for. You know what I
It's
mean?
for
Like,
the
it's
free,
an early bird gets a worm type deal. You know, especially like representing Northside plugs going
Hell
in.
yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, like G Money was saying this after we left. Like, it just felt like we should have been there. You know what I mean? Rather than like we're not just going as fans, but we're going as like, you know, I don't know, like basically like street journalists.
Yeah.
Kind of going there, and you know, now we take this experience back here and we reminisce about it. And
So where were they on Navy Pier? Exactly?
Offshore.
Oh, sure. My
Oh,
friend
okay.
Juju works there. Shout out to Juju.
shout out Juju, hey Juju.
Word.
You know, it was crazy too, bro. And I've been like, I've really been excited to tell you this too. So after First Take and everything that happened, so Justin and I were like, we walked out and they were trying to keep everybody like contained, and then they were gonna let everybody out. But Justin was like, "Hey, you trying to dip?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" So we dipped out, right? And as we're walking like towards the elevator. We see this dude that he was just like pretty much part of the behind the scenes. He was on camera, you know. He was chopping it up with people. Everything, you know. He was part of ESPN. We just didn't know who he was at the time.
Right.
So the dude pops by. He turns the corner right next to me. So he's on my right, and Justin's on my left. And I was just like, thank you for the opportunity, yada, yada, yada. And he was like, you should check out our show. That's what he said to us. He was like, you should check out our show. I'll get to it. And then Justin was like, you should check out our show, blah, blah, blah. So we telling about Northside Plug, Q4 and
That's
everything.
what's up. Quick network.
Yeah. And
Quick network.
bro, you know who it was, G? It was Sylvie from the Waddle and Sylvie show.
No way.
Yeah.
So you didn't know who.
Yo.
I mean, he's a voice. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then we were in the
Oh my-
elevator and we were chopping it up, bro. And I was like, you know, you got any advice you could give some
grind,
young
bro.
up and coming?
Just keep grinding, man. If you're a grinder, good things will
Yeah.
happen to you.
Yeah.
What?
Keep grinding, be versatile.
That's facts.
Social
Yeah.
media.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and
That's
then
so cool.
I hit him up on Instagram, bro, and he hit me up. He hit me back up, and you know, just trying to plant that seed.
Yeah,
and
there
get
you
that
go.
connection,
That's all it's
you know?
about. Yeah, see, there
Yeah.
you go. See, there's a reason you were supposed to be there.
Quick
Yeah.
network.
That's what's so. That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
that's so cool.
So it was fun, man. It was a good time.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. How many people? How many people were there?
Maybe like 70, 80
Yeah.
people.
Wow.
Yeah, it was smaller than I thought it would be, but
Yeah,
at the
I
same
was gonna
time,
say,
it
I'd be-
was
I'd
like-
be surprised
It's all
not
one big
100.
open space, and they
Yeah,
divided
true.
it kind of
Yeah.
appropriately in a way that like they could lead in the celebrities, so they weren't like, you know, overrun. It was kind of like a concert setting where they
Yeah.
had like that little in between.
Right, like the
yeah.
the
it was
path.
jumping, bro.
Mhm.
It was teed up.
Yeah.
Because I wonder, like, when they go to like Dallas or like the places like inside the AT&T Stadium, they probably have like hundreds of people there.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
the
like,
thing
for-
about the thing about the crowd and like just Chicago in general is that like our disdain for Garpax.
oh
Bro,
yeah.
like, yeah.
Yo, I heard that. That was that show.
Dude, Max turned around. He's just like, quiet down.
Yeah, he's like, stop. That
That's
was
awesome.
crazy,
I
man.
forgot that happened. Yeah. Or did you guys join in? You guys join in?
Hell yeah, bro! I was screaming from the top of my
Garpax.
lungs, that bro.
That's awesome.
I was so happy that it broke out. Gee, like
Oh, that's so
national
funny.
TV, and we were there.
Because I saw that on Twitter and I was like, oh, they're there. I was like,
Yes.
that's awesome. That's so funny.
It was
That's
just
amazing.
awesome, man. It was just cool, like Justin said, to see the behind the scenes of everything. And it's like, we're so accustomed to seeing them on air, and you just see the frontal face, but then you see them as wholehearted
In
people.
real life, it's different. It's totally
Yeah.
different.
And the processes of like what the show takes in between, So just wait and see Northside Plug expand over time and grow, and we're gonna do crazy stuff just like that. And it was like I told Justin, like we were meant to be there. We were meant to be in that elevator meeting him. Like we didn't even know his name. I didn't even know his name, bro. Like I knew who he was somehow, some way, and I knew he had said ESPN 1000. He was promoting it, but it was crazy, man. So you just never know when you never know what's gonna happen.
Right.
Just you never know you're gonna wake up and an opportunity presents itself. You gotta make the best of it at the end of the day. So
Word. Shouts out First Take. Shouts out.
ESPN.
Shouts out Waddle and
And,
Sylvie.
you want to hit him with that caller line?
Yeah,
Stan?
of course. The caller line 312-985-7834. Again, that's 312-985-7834.
If you want to call in and ask us or our lovely guests any questions, or
Yeah, feel free to call in, chop it up
show
with us.
love.
Make sure to follow our social medias, Northside Plug, on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter. Boss Dan.
Twitter is NSP Chicago 312.
312.
Yes, that's it. So that was like the kickoff to All-Star Weekend for you guys.
Definitely.
Pretty much. And then like it's kind of
That was about
tail off
the
from
peak
there.
of it for me there.
It peaked way too early for
Well,
you.
it's
Yeah,
like
pretty
I'm
much
not gonna
same.
spend money and
I would
go
have
out
been peaked
and
to that. Yeah,
like I'm not
true.
trying to like link up with an NBA star. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're going because it's All Star Week and it's like the one day that they're gonna be able to go out and turn up,
Mhm.
and it ain't gonna be with a dude like me. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
So
Yeah,
I
but-
don't know. I got my good 2 cents, my good experience from it,
Yeah,
and I don't know.
agree.
I'll use that as fuel. Like not, I don't know. I'm happy. the
Well, I
way it
mean,
went.
even for the females, I know I wasn't chasing that type of thing. It was just like if I end up around them, oh well. But if you're not spending hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars on a section, buying VIP tickets, and you're not getting around these people, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, half the people didn't even show up to the places that they were supposed to show up.
Right.
That's why they kicked down Joe's on the Weed Street, because the baby and it was one other person, they didn't show up at all,
Huh.
and they sent Joe's on Weed Street up like
Dang.
trash that boy, because you have people putting on their best outfits. And then I think I went to Alhambra Palace. People who were supposed to be there weren't there. So it's like, I don't know what happened with Chicago and the promoters and the investors, but baby, the All-Star was the only thing that was cracking, because all those after parties,
Wearing it.
it wasn't worth it.
Mhm.
I'm glad I didn't spend a lot of money. I was the one pulling outfits that I never wore out the closet. I didn't go shopping for this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cold too, which is a bad
Freezing,
combination of
yeah.
like, I was thinking that, I was like, because like the couple weekends before, it was like decent, it was like 30s, 40s.
It was freezing.
Friday night, it was like below,
2
and I was
degrees.
like, I knew, like, perfect timing for this.
We
Like,
were right by
2
the lake, bro, and it was
Oh.
just so cold, man.
yeah, man. Oh.
Right on Navy Pier. It was
Yeah.
like it was frozen over.
We were
and
gonna take the
everything.
train, and we walk outside. Jimbo's like, "Nope." Well, it's like I was like, "Bro, the train's this way." He's like, "Oh, we're not taking the train." I'm like, "Like, what do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, we're taking the car." Forgot to tell you.
I'm gonna
Hell
drive.
no.
I
You
ain't
taking the
I'm
whip,
not
boy.
taking- I'm not walking to Navy Pier from the
Oh,
train in there.
yeah.
Hop in the
boy.
cube.
But they
Hop
do
in the
have like
queue,
valet
baby.
in the back. Did you guys do the little $20 parking in the back?
Well,
We got
did-
10 for
we
the
did-
sawbuck.
Yeah,
Really?
With what's it called, bro?
a seat geek,
Spot Hero.
Spot Hero, seat geek.
Oh, they had something
Basically
at
the same
Navy
thing.
Pier?
Yeah,
Y'all
it
hit a
was,
lick.
I forgot what it was called. He found it. I didn't even know what it was. I never even used Spot
Oh,
Hero
I
before.
put him on that. Look, that's
Spot
why he's
Hero.
looking at me.
Love
He's
Spot
like-
Hero. Love
Found a spot for the bro, and it was like right there. I'm talking about. It was a 10
Yeah.
minute
Yeah,
walk. You feel me?
Yeah.
For the sawbuck, it was a lick.
Spot Hero, sponsor us.
Yeah, I love
Alright.
I
No-
love Spy Hero. I've gave them people so much
no
money.
free ads. Just kidding. But yeah, I mean, the game on Sunday though,
intense. Awesome.
Yeah.
The dunking
fixed
contest was not fair.
What'd I say?
Gordon got robbed.
Derrick Jones Jr., baby.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, like, how do
I
y'all?
owe you $1.
I think the judges didn't know what they were doing.
They tweaked.
And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that moving forward, there should be previous dunk competition winners or players who have been big for dunking or just OGs in the
Yeah.
NBA. In the NBA game, it should be literally OGs or people that this is what they do.
Like you
Yeah.
got
Because
Black
you got
Panther,
celebrity
like, why do you got Black
actors
Panther grading
as
the dunk,
judges.
That was what
Chadwick.
was weird. It was like, okay,
Chadwick Boseman.
Like,
4 out of the 5 were decent. And
What
then you
do
throw
he know
Pay-
about jumping off a court?
Exactly.
And what do these people know about the strength that it takes? You need someone to judge this that knows the effort that it takes to accomplish it. Not just someone who looks and say, oh. And then the next time they're feeling a little more hype. So they say, oh, when it wasn't even that much better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that
That's
part had
true.
me
But
like,
it's crazy because like at the end of the last voting, the judges that gave a 9.
It was 47, right?
They gave 9s. I'm tweaking. It was 47, but they gave 9s. It was D Wade, Chadwick Boseman, and Scotty. So it's like the 2 out of 3 are credible as hell,
Yeah.
you know. But it was like, still, what happened? It's like,
they were looking at each other's scores because I think they wanted to do something that they didn't do,
yeah.
but they couldn't count. What was it like?
They should have just
40
voted. Like,
Yeah.
just give the man a 50 because that's what
Exactly.
it was. You dunked over
Exactly.
Taco Fall. Every single dunk that this man did was 50 worthy, you know? And it was like at that point, they were just in their heads and
I
thinking,
agree.
like, hey, yo, we got to cut it sooner. Then it's
I
like,
agree.
Nah, we need a winner, and y'all tweaked.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Really
Y'all gave
tweaked.
the win. It's
I missed most of it because I was at Loyola beating UNI. Go Blurs.
true.
And I showed up to the bar and like I went into Bulldog and that was the last dunk I saw.
Mhm.
And I asked some guy at the bar who's been there for a while. I was like, oh yeah, Aaron Gordon should win this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then Derrick Jones Jr. came out of nowhere, and I was like, that man got robbed twice.
Yeah.
Because like that other one was sick too, but like that one was
Yeah.
pretty close.
Yeah.
I didn't see. Was it still like a pretty close compared to that?
This one?
Yeah, compared to
It
the
was-
Levine Gordon one.
It was close, and the thing was like Derrick Jones. Shout out to him because that man can fly, bro. He can
Yeah,
really
he's
dunk.
got some.
But in terms of overall of everything that you're gonna vote on, I feel like Aaron Gordon's was just more creative, and I feel like the best dunk of the contest was the one that Aaron Gordon threw off the side of the backboard, and he like spun around and he just
Yes,
jammed that
the
mug.
316 off
Yeah,
that's the one that I like.
That was crazy because when you see the slow mo too, I forgot who threw the lob. It was off. Like it hit the corner of the backboard. It didn't go like right back to him. You know, he had to go grab it and yam it down. So I don't know. They just tweaked at the end, and it was just unfortunate. But at the end of the day, it was still entertaining, and that's what you want. you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Controversial entertainment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. So everyone's getting mad at Dwayne. Everyone's pointing fingers at Dwayne Wade
Yeah.
because Dwayne Wade, Derrick Jones Jr. were teammates last year, so everyone's just like pointing fingers at him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was a Saturday night. I missed most of it, but the 4-point shot. Did the 4-point shot look cool?
It was cool, man.
was cool.
They were
They threw it
smacking
there.
him, bro. Yeah, they were definitely smacking him. It was a good
D.
three.
The Mountain Dew.
D. Lillard is smacking shots like
Like
that
that
from
on-
the three
on
on
the
the
reg.
pull up, bro.
On the
Like
reg.
he's more consistent on shots 10 or like 8 feet and beyond the 3-point line. He's more consistent from those shots than he is from actual 3-point percentage, which is higher than most other point guards in the league.
Mm.
I think
Yeah.
he's hitting 30-foot shots at like a 60%.
Yeah, it would have been cool
Right.
to see him go in again, but he was hurt, so he sat
Yeah.
out. We gave Devin Booker the chance though, so that was pretty
And
cool.
Devin Booker was
Almost
shooting
won.
that shot, bro.
Buddy
Especially
Hield,
them
man.
4, yeah. Buddy Hield just came back. What's it called? Just was smacking threes and hit that last one and gamed it, bro.
Mm.
It was definitely like, I don't know. I feel like everything that happened this weekend was very entertaining. The rookie game was really
Ooh,
cool.
the rookie game was really
John
cool.
Moran, Zion, bro. They were hooping.
Mhm.
They were definitely hooping.
That was a good game. And then the game on Sunday, of course, was Then everyone, and including myself, and I think we talked about it, we were very skeptical of the rules. The new rules,
last week.
the minutes and like the winning the quarters and the 24, and like I was like, oh, 24 is too low. It's gonna go by so fast.
Yeah.
But then by the fourth quarter, like they were playing defense. They were boxing out.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry was
Even that
flopping,
second-
taking charges out there.
Even
It
that
was like
second quarter,
unbelievable.
it was just a low scoring
Yeah.
quarter.
Yeah, it only got to like 70, 80 total points.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the fourth quarter, they were literally like smacking the floor, like putting hands up, and it was what you wanted to see out of that level of players. Like something that the NBA continues to succeed at is just making their All-Star weekend compared to like any other major sports All-Star game is just bar none.
Yeah.
Like the home run derby used to be up there because like in the steroid era, like everyone was
The
loving the home run
steroid
derby.
era.
But now the home run derby's just kind of lost its charm, and now they try to
Yeah.
switch it up by making a bracket. But like the NBA finds ways to switch it up, and it works. You might be skeptical, but then you see it happen, and then you're just like
some years will be kind of off, you know. But
Yeah.
then they have years like this where it's just like, damn.
everything went very smoothly, or it caused a lot of media, which the NBA is great at creating their own media and their own storylines and whatever else.
Hey, and shout out to all the kids. I forgot it was. I know it was After School Matters, and then I forgot what the other charity was.
yeah.
But shout out to all the kids that benefited from both teams winning
I
the
saw
quarters.
that. Like they gave like one team won 300,000 to, I think it was for their college, and then the other team, which was the West, they won 100,000 to After School Matters.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, no, that's what made it all worth it, you know, and the kids got to see one of the best All-Star games.
But my thing
damn near
is,
ever.
come on now, I look at everything with a deeper eye. Those players got 100,000 times. You know what I mean? Like, give these people $1 million to both teams and call it a day.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
if the kids are really our future, because they're gonna write that 100,000 and that 300,000. Like, that's nothing compared to what the NBA has. You know what I mean? So it's like, give these kids some real money that they can really use.
Well, Team Giannis came out and they only won 100,000 because of the way the like scores carried over.
Yeah.
Team Giannis said that like they were doubling the team was donating the rest of the 100,000 because like you just said, that's nothing. 100,000 for 12 All Stars.
Yeah,
it's
come
nothing.
on.
That's nothing for them.
Yeah.
So for them to do that and be like, we wish we won more money, so here's like double what we gave. That was very nice of them, and I agree.
that's
Like,
nice.
I think as the years go on, like it'll get, and I love how they do local charities. They're not like, oh, let's do UNICEF or like some big brands. They're like, no, we're doing like some Chicago charities.
Yeah,
So,
After
like,
School
that
Matters
was
is
really cool
dope.
because I feel like they did that last year with like where was it last year? Was it in Charlotte? Yeah, so last year with like Charlotte they did it, but like this year it's just really cool that the NBA does that.
Yeah.
I mess with After School Matters. They saved my life in high school. Like, we had the dopest programs, from dance. We had a little computer class. We had like a candy store. We had a lot of stuff in high school. And we had like a computer and media class. I think that was like one of my favorite things that After School Matters had. It was dope.
That's dope. Where'd you go to high school? Where'd you go to high school?
Where? Manly. On the west side.
True.
Manly Career Academy.
Yeah, so Giannis played for After School Matters and LeBron played for the Chicago Scholars.
Okay, right.
So so that's really cool, and I thought it was a great. Like I said, like the fourth quarter was just like the dessert on top of all that. It was just really fun
That
to
was
watch.
a good game.
It was a great way to end that All-Star weekend because, like I said, like the way they played defense, it just like got me fired up to like actually watch it. And it wasn't like in the past, like last year. I think the final score, one team was pushing 200, and like this year they like the final score was 157. Like it was like somewhat competitive, like in what you would get from there. And the Elam ending, ELAM, that's what that's called when you add a certain amount of points after like after a certain amount of time, and like instead of having like the clock just run to zero, you're like you have to reach that score. So like, have you heard of the basketball tournament? You ever see that on ESPN sometimes where it's like pick up teams? It's like alumni. I see that on there. Yeah. They started doing it with like after the 4 minutes they add like 8 points, and that's the Elam ending.
Okay.
So like for them to do that could like make it intense because like the whole point, like the research that this guy Elam did, like literally a professor did this research, and he's like, instead of having teams just foul for free throws at the end of the game, like we want to make it so
what happened.
Yeah, right. But like he wants to make it that like every possession matters, and like you don't like try to drain the clock or anything. You're not worried about the game clock. You're just worried about like trying to score points or
Yeah.
whatever. So it was very cool to see the NBA go to that. And I've heard that they're thinking about experimenting in the G League with it, but I don't know if it'll get to the NBA anytime soon, but maybe in the distant future.
It'll really make them play for it,
Right.
play harder.
It would make the end of games very, very interesting. That's for sure.
Definitely. And it was cool, what's it called? Just throughout the whole weekend, how they were showing tributes to Kobe, and you just felt that whole presence, and especially with the game being competitive, I thought that was pretty cool.
Amber
Was
showing
good.
her nails on fleek.
That's crazy.
Okay.
GG, go ahead.
Oh well, that was just.
Oh no, I thought you
Got
were
the
going.
mamba.
Yeah.
I think these nails give me like inspiration. I feel like I can do anything with these nails. Like I don't know. I feel like I can do anything, get through anything. It's something with these nails. Like
Except
good
roll a
things has
blunt.
been happening ever since I put these Kobe nails on my fingers. I don't know what's going on.
That's dope.
Except to roll a blunt.
It's that
That's-
mom.
You
It's
got
that
me
mom
for that.
mentality. It's that mom mentality.
Trust
That's
it.
all it is.
No, 100%.
Saying.
It's crazy, man. Like even at the first take, they had a like a big old banner. It was like remembering Kobe, and
Yeah.
everybody was just signing it. It was just really cool, bro. And you could just
that
feel the
makes me sad.
presence.
All
Yeah.
weekend.
That makes me sad.
All weekend they were honoring him, and it was great to see. everything they
Commons intro was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was
did.
hot.
That was crazy. He just the way he's able to go off like that for so long is just amazing to me always.
Yeah.
That intro video where they had the big mural of Chicago with everyone
Yeah.
like from Chicago speaking on it. That was a really cool moment
Yeah.
for me. That was like really just like even only being here for like 6 years is like damn, like I'm so proud to be like a part of the city.
Yeah.
Or, like,
when this is here.
Yeah, like it was just so cool.
Yeah.
It was just like really cool for them to highlight that. Like they got everyone. They got MJ. They got shout out President Barack. They got Barack in the building for that. They got the NBA got everyone for that thing, and it was just really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool to see that.
Definitely. What's it called? The halftime show was really surreal for me, bro. To see Chance up there, bro. Like, man, like Chance's whole journey is just so cool, man. Because literally, I've told you guys a story. Basically, I went to Lane Tech. He used to be pulling up with sometimes Vic Mensa, right? Yeah, Vic Mensa. They'd be pulling up sometimes. This is when he was like giving out his 10-day and whatever Vic Mensa's mixtape is. But yeah, they just be pulling up. This would have been my sophomore year, so like 15, 16. And just, it was crazy to see the journey of how he blew up, basically, and him, and you were in Chicago too, and I don't know, I feel like, what's your perspective on how all of these artists have blown up? Because I feel like being on the West Side, you probably has interactions with someone, at least, whoever,
Yeah, I think it all just depends on your grind, like, and how hard you want it. Like, I've been trying to, and honestly, if you focus, because see, I gotta stop myself from cursing like everybody. Like, this is hard, but I've found myself doing things the harder way, and just not just sitting down and thinking. And now I see things totally different. And like you say, he was passing out his stuff, trying to get his name out. And if you stick with anything, it'll reward you. I stuck with dancing my whole life. At 21, I was in China, backup dancing on tour. So it's like if you literally stick with anything, it will reward you eventually. You know what I mean? Just got to stick with it. Yeah. That's all. And it literally, it's about your mind. It don't matter if you got $0, no connections. It matters your mind, your mindset that can get you far. You don't need nothing but a strong, powerful mind. That's it.
Well said. 100%. I definitely agree. That's crazy, and you can be in Chance's case, a young kid, 15, 16.
Passing out mixtapes.
And then next thing you know, you in your city at the All-Star game.
Performing.
With Lil Wayne.
Right.
Bro, that is surreal. That is crazy. And I'm a total believer in that,
And with social media nowadays, that's big,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm trying to tell myself that more and more. You keep putting content out, keep putting yourself out there. Somebody will hit you up for something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just got to give stuff that will intrigue people, and somebody will peep who.
Yeah, if you're dope, it'll come.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know, just to kind of wrap up All-Star Weekend, I thought it was amazing, and it was a true blessing to have a part of the city. Ever since I was a kid, I had always really wanted to be here. Just unfortunately
Chicago
couldn't
was
be here.
lit.
Yeah, it was teed up. You could just feel it. You
Yeah, you
definitely
can just
feel
Yeah,
it.
you could feel it. It was like an energy thing because
Yeah.
Justin, how many days did I say I wasn't going nowhere?
And then you end up
2
getting-
hours later, I'm getting dressed.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
someone would hit you up, be
crazy.
like, blah, 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 something is happening over here. You're like, oh, shit, I'm getting up and getting out of here.
Oh my God. Like I kept saying, I'm not going anywhere. It's too cold. I don't want to spend no money. I'm not doing it. 5 minutes later, I'm getting dressed, doing makeup. And so it was literally an energy thing. It's like you could feel the stars here. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Absolutely.
Like I just felt like the city was popping and it was
Yeah.
freezing
Oh,
outside.
yeah.
Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
walking downtown, like Friday afternoon, just walking around downtown, I just felt like there were, I don't know, I just felt that energy too. just
Yeah.
of like people or just like a great vibe just around there. And I walked past Wintrust
Mhm.
where the celebrity game was.
Mm.
And like me and my roommate were like, oh, like what are tickets at? They're like $300, like something crazy, or they were something even more than that. And I was like, oh, it'd be so cool to go there. But like I could just feel like the energy walking around there and just like everywhere else. It was really amazing.
Yeah,
just
it was
to have
definitely
that.
dope.
And like we were just thinking like the star power in this city right now, and that weekend was just ridiculous.
Not even just the Hoopers, you feel me?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Everybody.
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 You know?
Everybody,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, I wish I could have saw Quavo in that celebrity game. I ain't gonna lie.
True.
Quavo be doing this thing on
He's
the
a-
basketball.
Hell yeah.
That dude is a baller. He's got that lefty stroke.
Chris Brown is good too. I think they played each other one of these all stars.
Oh really?
They were like going at
yeah,
it.
yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, if I am, they need to go at it.
I
'cause
know,
they,
I know they've
they
played
both.
before.
Yes, they definitely played each other before. They be killing it. Like that's a battle I would like to see again.
Quavo's a baller though. I'd take him over any rapper.
He like
Absolutely.
blocked the shit. He blocked the mess out of somebody's shot.
Mm-hmm.
Whose shot did he block?
I don't. I
This
know what you're
past
talking
game,
about.
yeah, because he
Yeah.
sent it flying.
Mm-hmm. He loves doing that because he just like takes it so seriously, and like he is just like that much more skilled than like some of the people out there, like some of the like DJ Khaled or whoever like was randomly thrown out there,
Right.
and like he can just easily just be like, bang, and just smack it out
That's
of their
exactly
hand.
what he did.
Smack it out of
He
their
just
hands.
jumped up and
Mhm.
blocked it.
Nah, definitely. To transition, Boss Dan.
Yes.
While we're on sports, I want to know where your head is at with the Astros,
Oh,
because this has been a big topic
Great,
for the past couple
great,
of weeks.
Great question, my friend. I listened to one of the baseball podcasts I listen to. Shouts out Starting Nine. I was listening to them today. So like the past week and a half has been players are reporting to training camp. So
Mhm.
like now it's essentially like the past week has been, what are other players saying? What are players from the other 29 teams saying about this? And all of them are just like, I lost respect for those guys. It's
Yeah.
Bush League. Like they're all just like really mad about it. Some quotes right out. Cody Bellinger, last year's NL MVP. I thought the apologies were whatever. I thought Manfred's punishment was weak. Nick Markakis, I feel like every single guy over there needs a beating. They're messing with people's careers. Aaron Judge, who lost the 2017 AL MVP to Jose Altuve
Damn.
the year that stuff was going on.
Yeah.
Other guys, the guys that lost their jobs because of it, guys that went into Houston and got beat up a little bit and never made it back to the big leagues, you really can't tolerate that. And like even Aaron Judge was like, I lost respect for Altuve. He deleted the post that he made in 2017, like congratulating Altuve for beating him in the MVP. And like, because like Manfred came out and was basically like, oh, we're just playing for a piece of metal in reference to the World Series
That's
trophy.
crazy. Bro. You're the whole commissioner,
You're
bro.
the commissioner. You called the trophy just a piece of metal.
It's like, yes, you're right, but you're the commissioner. You're supposed to gas it up.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. It was like unbelievable. Like the podcast I listened to today, like the Starting Nine, they have Dallas Braden, who was a former pitcher for the Athletics, and he just went off for like a minute screaming. He's like, that thing, that piece of metal is what you play for. It's what you wake up early. And he's like just going off on like, and I was like, yeah, like Manfred clearly does not have a touch. He doesn't have a good touch with his players because like he says things like that.
Yeah.
That like to the players, it's not just a piece of metal, Rob. Like it's means something. Like it's the championship trophy. Don't call it a piece of metal.
Yeah.
And this like going related to the Houston. Going back to the Astros, just another like dumb thing that higher ups say because they have bad touch with like people.
He getting chilly, huh, Justin? Getting chilly.
The president of the Houston Astros said it never really affected the game. And then a minute later he came back and was like, well, of course it affected the game.
So you're indirectly saying that you did it.
Yes.
As the GM.
Yeah, they know they did it, but no one's coming out and apologizing on the Astros. Everyone's just like, yeah, like, can we just move on from this? Can we just, like, move on?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we're not just going to move on from this.
Yeah.
Like, this is the biggest scandal since steroids. Like, this, like, changes the game.
Yeah. You can't set this precedent and expect to move on for somebody to 2 years down the line do it again, you know? Because it's the same thing as our politics, right? You know, it's like someone setting the precedent of, okay, I can finesse the system. The system is basically saying that I'm not going to punish this person. So that's when the discussion of, hey, let's move on. I mean, it's like, okay, you're setting the precedent of let's move on. But what happens when the next so-and-so or the next organization does the same thing? Are we also going to say, hey, we finna move on? Yeah,
exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So, like, Manfred, like, I think he was very soft with it. Like, sure, they handed the penalties down to the higher-ups in the ownership, and everyone's like, what about the players? Like, where are the players getting involved in this? And, like, everyone's like, the players should be punished. And Manfred's like, like, I'll leave that to the Players Association, and they don't want to do anything. They want players' rights and all that stuff. And so a funny stat came out from Vegas, from the betting books in Vegas, like over under like 83 hit by pitches by the Astros. Like, how many times are they gonna get thrown?
Yeah, they're gonna get smacked.
Because it's gonna be a lot.
They're gonna get smacked.
It's gonna be a lot, and I think there's gonna be multiple brawls or multiple benches clearing things, like because like people are gonna throw out the Astros, and like there's some like I think Alex Bregman is gonna be one of those guys that just takes it and walks to first base, but someone like an Alex Correa or maybe Jose Altuve, more likely Correa or like a Josh Reddick, like they will take it and they'll be like angry and they can't bottle that up. Or like someone like an Alex Bregman who like is skilled enough to not need that, like who was having an MVP season last year because like they didn't find anything in 2019. Like he'll just bottle up and just like take it and know like that's what they get and that's what they honestly deserve. So yeah, I mean, baseball is very shook up by this. It's gonna take a while for baseball to kind of calm down, and I think it's going to take the whole year. Like by the time next year, we won't really be talking about it as much. But every time some team plays the Astros, the opposing broadcast, the immediate first thing is like, I hope they're not filming this, or like like the opposing broadcasts are going to make so many jokes every time any team plays the Astros.
Bro, like, what do you in the discussion of Aaron Judge and Jose Altuve, especially like, I don't completely understand the whole jersey thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like, so, like, in that scenario with Aaron Judge, bro, like, I guess I'm asking you to get into his head and kind of, like, delve into that.
Of, like, the Jose Altuve? So...
More so in terms of Aaron Judge, just how he feels of Jose Altuve, but also what do you think about, like, that whole jersey situation as well?
I think that jersey situation's baloney. I had a bad tattoo that he didn't want to expose. I think that's a little bullcrap. Because I feel like you're going to be okay people ripping off your shirt if it's just a bad tattoo, not if it's a wire and a buzzer on your chest. So from Aaron Judge's mind, knowing that I was that close to winning the MVP award, to being the best player in baseball, losing to a guy who has proven that he can hit for average, like in 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, like he's hit above 300, like he's a good hitter. So like 17, he had like a career year. Luckily, Trout was injured, so Trout didn't win the MVP because he usually does. But yeah, to be in Aaron Judge's perspective, I totally agree with him of just being like, I totally get where he's coming from of just being like, I'm lost a lot of respect for that guy. I can't look at him in the same light. It's the way that I respected him and I admired him, and I thought like I was okay with him. It almost seemed like he was like okay with him losing to Jose Altuve because like that he was that good of a player.
You have a sour taste as a competitor.
Yeah, exactly. And like just to hear that like you would have won, you could have potentially won the MVP had it not been for this guy getting that buzzer or hearing the knowing an off-speed pitch was coming into the plate. I apologize. So like it's always like so sorry. And it's not like necessarily that he would say, it's always just like the what if factor. So like for Aaron Judge, he automatically just assumes like I would have won MVP. Like if that wasn't happening, then I would have won MVP. So I don't know, it's going to be a long season for the Houston Astros. It's going to be a long season for those guys. They're going to get a lot of pitches thrown at them. They're going to if they're smart, they'll just take it and move on. And then, but I don't know. It's gonna be a long season for them, and it's gonna be the topic of conversation for a while. But hey, props to baseball for figuring out a way to stay relevant during during the Super Bowl and during NBA All-Star Weekend.
Right.
People were still talking about them when they're usually drowned out by those sports. So props to them props to the Astros for keeping baseball relevant.
Marketing.
Or how did the guys on the podcast say? They said it was good for the sport, bad for the game. Because like all the press was good for the sport. Because like baseball, like people are gonna watch baseball to see what the Astros do.
Yeah.
But it's bad for the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
Because with all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword, really. Because like people are gonna watch the Astros this year, and I'm honestly gonna watch more Astros games because the Red Sox are gonna be trash. So.
There's no such thing as bad publicity. That's what they say.
Exactly. No, it's not. As long as your name buzzing for something, you'll be all right. Unfortunately.
Manfred's a clown.
Yeah. How long has he been? What's it called? Commissioner? Not too long, because it was Bud Selig, right?
Yeah. I want to say like 5 years.
I just get the sense that he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, I don't really pay attention. I pay attention to baseball, but like, I didn't really.
This is his 5th year.
He just looks like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah,
bro.
man, I agree with you. Like the way he just hasn't held this well. Yeah. He just hasn't handled the situation well at all. And like to be fair, like he wasn't gonna go out and straight up suspend players because then like the players might have started hating him more.
Who cares about hating, bro? It's like you gotta
exactly.
You gotta do your job.
But now players are losing. Instead of just hating him, they lose respect for him.
Exactly.
So it's like for him. It's a tough thing. It's like the hardest thing for him to take as the commissioner. Like
it's like the teacher that you prank in school all the time, bro, and they don't do nothing, so you're just gonna continue to prank them.
Continue to do stuff. Yeah, I want to read more on it this weekend just to see like what he's really. Yeah. And luckily he apologized for calling the World Series trophy a piece of metal because it's funny because he had to make a statement and then he had to like go into a press conference the next day to like go over what he said. He's like, oh, I didn't mean to call it a piece of metal, and he's like calling himself again, and I was just like, oh, this man just can't figure it out.
That's how I was feeling about it.
You're getting. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
You're just getting into that Roger Goodell territory where I think you're a trash commissioner.
But that's what I was feeling about that football player. What's his name? Antonio Brown.
Clown.
Like.
Antonio Clown.
Like, it's so much going on with him. It's been so much going on with him.
Way too much going on.
Why would you be on video cursing your baby mama out like that? Calling her every fish face, throwing a bag of gummy D-ice, you know the rest, at her. Telling you don't drive a Bentley, this ain't your life, B, and all this and that. He's just constantly in and out the blogs for bad reasons. No team's gonna pick him up. It's too much baggage. He got like sexual assault, domestic incidents. He got the first team he was signed to let him go. They released him because he was having issues with one of the owners. Then the Patriots picked him up. And why don't he play for them anymore?
Because they cut him because the issues were brought back up again. And more stuff came to light and the Patriots were like, you know what?
Maybe you're not worth the baggage.
Yeah, we're gonna let you figure that out.
Oh my God.
So hey, that 1 week though, that 1 week in Miami was beautiful.
He only played 1 week.
One game. He played one NFL game this season. He got a touchdown, so he was 1 for 1. He played in one game. He had like 6 catches for like 70 yards and a touchdown.
Oh my God.
And for that day, that was the day I thought the Patriots were going to be great this season.
Champs.
Narrator in the background.
Well, he got cracked in the head yesterday.
Yeah, he got smacked in the head yesterday. He's yelling at his
By
baby
who?
mamas.
What?
In the gym, he was like working out, and right after he did his lifts, he jumped up like, ah! And then the thing came, and it looked like
that was that
I would have been dead had that thing hit me.
Smacked on top
I would have been in a coma right now had that machine hit me like that.
I didn't know that was him.
He's so like, I don't want to say this word, but like
ignorant.
Oh, obviously he's ignorant. Like I want to say like bipolar because like
that too.
A couple like weeks ago he was like, or like in the past he's ripped Ben Roethlisberger. He's ripped the NFL. He's like, I'm never coming back to the NFL.
F the NFL. This is my real life.
I'm not blah blah blah. And then like a couple weeks ago he's like, oh, and then like 2 days later, or even like 2 days ago now, he's just like, I want to be back in football. Like you guys.
And he whooped his girl. He whooped his girl, and she's like rubbing his back on Shade Room this morning. and they're like, oh, we guess Antonio Brown and his baby mama's good to go. And she's like giving him a full body massage. My thing is, after he ripped you apart, you're gonna like go and rub his back. I'll get some rubbing alcohol and a lighter and go flicky flick on his back and let him feel the burn. Like, the way he dogged her out, And I see, if I was her in that situation, I would have put those kids in the car, the nearest Uber, Lyft, whatever. But I would not let my kids hear my baby's father talk to me like that. What example are y'all setting for the kids? That's why it made me like, I start pulling up all his information, because I'm like, I need to know who this guy is and not just judge him. But going deeper and deeper, I'm like, oh, he ain't nothing. He just, I'm sorry. Maybe he used to be, but right now, child.
The guy, he's just got to like isolate himself and
figure it out. So do some soul searching.
Play football and just like get off social media. Like, he should honestly delete every social media.
Yeah.
Someone get that man a flip phone. Like, get this man a Motorola Razr. Yeah.
Okay.
If he wants to text you, he's got to go.
Because it's definitely an ego thing after so long. You got all that money, all these bitches, all that power. You can do what you want. Now you're like, I'm the man. And that's exactly how he acts. But look how God humbles you.
Exactly. And that's the thing, you
big fat slice of humble pie.
Served
right up.
Big slice.
You're at the pinnacle, you're at the top, and then it's just like, you're reaping the benefits of the situation, and you're talking all that smack, like, oh, whatever, but then it's like you get, like you said, God humbles you.
God is like, let me show you where you came from, just a little bit.
You hit the bottom, and then you're like, a little
bit too much.
And then you're like, hey, I would love to be back on a team.
Exactly,
blah, 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 blah.
exactly.
It's like, look at where you
were
But
even
before.
On that video with his baby mama, he was saying, the NFL, she didn't even bring the NFL up. He's just screaming, the NFL, this is my real life. Nobody said anything about the NFL, dude. Like,
'cause he's salty and he's thinking about it. It's in his mind, like, ain't nobody else thinking about it, but he is, and he knows. And it's crazy because it's like people like that, he knows he messed up. It's just like you said, there's other things going on in his mind, bipolar, whatever, that's just steering him this way, steering him that way, and it's
he needs to get help. He needs to delete all his social media, delete all of that, and get help.
Absolutely. We're praying for him, and
praying for Antonio Brown.
Because man, when he plays football, he's one of the best route runners. He's one of the best catchers. Tony toe taps on the sidelines. He's such a beautiful play. He's one of my favorite players to watch.
And like, when a young lady, I don't mean to cut you off, but when a young lady who doesn't know football like that, and now I'm coming along, and you see how he just said he's an amazing football player. All I know is the drama and the BS.
Exactly.
You see how that?
Yeah. So that's why he needs to just like get some help. Get as Marshawn Lynch said, get your mentals right, get your chickens right.
You better quote.
Get y'all monies, get y'all bread, get y'all chickens, get y'all mentals. Yeah, just like as he said, get y'all mentals and your what is it? And your bread or your chickens. He calls them chickens. He's like, get your chickens and get y'all mentals. So he's right. Get y'all mentals and your bread in check.
Okay.
AB.
All right.
Definitely.
And that's it. That's all I got. Antonio Brown, figure it out. Rob Manfred, you
send in prayers.
All-Star Chicago, amazing.
NBA on top of the world.
NBA on top of the news as always. Adam Silver is the best commissioner easily because he knows what to do. And like,
so the one who died, he was like an older one from an older generation.
Yeah, David Stern.
Yeah.
Okay. He was the one that I remember the most. His name, David Stern.
He was commissioner for like 30 years.
Oh, that's
for like
why.
Most of our until like 5 years ago. Him, Adam Silver and Rob Manfred started like the same time, like 2014, 2015.
Okay.
So David Stern was huge to the game. So yeah, I was glad they shouted out him too because he was.
Definitely.
I mean, he was a big. Hit like quick minute on him. He was a big at like spreading the game of basketball across the world because like he saw what happened in the Dream Team and he's like, this is a global game, and like he just helped that expand and just like got the game globally as to where it is today.
And especially like being in the time that we were and are, as technology was really expanding, he knew how to take advantage of that and really. It's not the best word, but pretty much exploit the NBA in a positive manner, and be able to really bring it out globally and to basically set it up so that Adam Silver can go crazy with it, So they both did a really good job, and that's why, the NBA is thriving. The All-Star game is doing well. Got crazy, amazing players, and everybody's excited about what's going on right now and what's to come in the future. So it's
But
really
I
cool.
ask Justin all the time, why do NBA players make double, triple what NFL players make?
That's a good damn
NFL
question.
roster, 54 guys. Basketball roster, 15 guys.
15.
So it's like almost a quarter of the roster.
Damn.
And the NBA and the NBA is not that far behind in revenue. NFL does make the most, but NBA is right there behind.
Okay, I was about
So
to say,
that
ain't they
that
getting
roster-
funding from the same government?
That roster size, 15 versus 54.
True. It's
That's-
like you got the same amount of money, but you got to split it up in a lot of more places in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. And like, yeah, that's basically
So that's
the
like
e-
that's like the
easiest
main reason.
Yeah, that's the easiest reason to do that, because you can say the same with baseball and like, I mean, hockey and baseball. Oh, baseball still has the money, but baseball you can throw your own money in there, which is weird. Like baseball's just kind of just like spend whatever you want.
Oh.
So, but like that's all. I still need to figure out all that baseball stuff. But basically, in the short answer, 54
Capitalism,
versus
bro.
15.
Yeah, that says a lot.
Yeah, a lot of capitalism. Gotta love that good old.
It's America's
American-
pastime, dude.
Yeah, capitalism. All right.
We're gonna take a quick little break over here on Northside Plug. We got Amber in the building. Northside Plug.
Yeah, we'll chop it up with her. We'll
Big interview
all the
on
sports
the
talk
way.
is over with.
Get out of our way, sports. Amber coming through.
Watch out. Northside Plug.
She's the one with the beat.
Northside Plug, we live, baby, we back. Thank you for sticking with us. If you're listening to us on q4.org, we appreciate you. Of course, we're streaming live on our YouTube channel. Search us on Northside Plug. God, the subscribers are slowly but surely coming up. You know, our videos are slowly but surely getting more and more views. So we appreciate all of you that are tuning into our content and enjoying what we're promoting, which is creative people and dope people and a lot of awesome content. But with that being said, we got Amber in the building, you know, teeing up. So we're gonna give the floor to Amber. What is it that you do, Amber? Tell the people.
Hi guys. So my entire life, I have been a dancer. A lot of people in Chicago know me just as a dancer. In high school, always danced. The first year after graduating from high school, I became the dance instructor for Family Focus Dance Program for North Lawndale. The second year after high school, I started doing the head coaching for the pom-pom team. So I was a head coach for the CPS at a very young age. Did that for a few years, and then I went to China as a backup dancer on tour from November to March. And that was really cool, really fun. I missed a lot of holidays, but it was like a turning point in my career. Since then, like I've always done Billiken parades, so I do them mostly every summer unless I'm being lazy. I'm not just started pursuing my independent career as an artist. So Justin, he's my roommate, so he see me doing this a lot. I'm like constantly leaving out of town. Like I book my dancers' flights, hotels, everything. I had a show with Johnny Blaze last year in September. That was like my first show as an artist with dancers and, you know, putting myself out there. And I was able to meet her and like turn up with her. And then I just did a show with Rich Dollars from Love and Hip Hop in January in Baltimore, Maryland. That was really cool as well. So just doing independent shows now, trying to put myself out there more as an artist. Did the Come Back to You. I came home one day listening to Justin make some beats, and I'm like, who you making that for? He's like, I'm just working on it, and I'm like, oh, you working on that for me? And I ended up buying a beat from him and just going into the booth, just like recording. He was like, just record, just come up with some stuff while you're doing it, and like the song is hot.
That's dope.
And when it actually get recorded and like mixed, it's gonna be like a banger. Like I have a lot of dope music. Nothing is put out yet because I'm like a perfectionist and I know it's not right yet. But once it's all right, it's gonna be dope. Hopefully by this summer, I'll have my music out.
What made you want to transition from being a dancer to an artist or like a musician in a way? Has there always been that like music?
When I was 12 years old, I was cleaning up my room, and I remember, I'll never forget, I'm just cleaning up and I'm like, I believe in God, I believe in me, I believe in my children. I don't know why I said children because I didn't have no children. And I was like, that's why I believe. And I just started singing and I'm like, wait a minute, I can write songs. And literally from that moment, I just started writing. So I literally like was writing songs at 13, 14 and about love. Like, of course I wouldn't dare put some of those songs out, but some of them was good enough to tweak a little bit and still put out. But it was then when I realized like, oh, okay, I like that too. Because I've always like, as a young girl, like when Destiny's Child Say My Name came out, my mom had like 6 of her girlfriends over and she like said, Amber, come in the front room. And she would make me like dance for all her friends and they would like give me 50 cents each. And then I guess I just took that and ran with it. Like I ended up just dancing and dancing for all the company that came over. Every party she took me to, I would find one of the little girls and dance against them. So I knew dancing would always be my thing. And like I was telling you guys earlier, you stick to something, it will reward you. That's how I ended up in China. I also opened the WGCI Big Jam in 2017. I was the opening act. I was the choreographer and a backup dancer for FDF. And they were the first performers for the WGCI Big Jam. So like I was able, Chris Brown walked past me. I was like, Chris Brown. And he was like, run into his room or whatever. And like I was, Yo Gotti and G Herbo was like talking on the side of the stage. And I'm like walking past them to go on the stage. And I'm like, is this really my life right now? And I've also been on 3 episodes of Empire as a background, and I'm going to be on episode 12. And I'm hopefully, when we were filming, I got a lot of TV time, so hopefully I make the cut. I'll be calling something.
Just calling up Fox.
Yeah,
Studios.
but so I've also done. That's like my the biggest thing that I'm happy for, because I've always watched Empire for years on years, like literally since season 1. So for me to be standing next to Taraji P. Henson and Terrence Howard, I literally like just had to tell myself, like, look where you are. You're on the set of Empire. Like, and then I spoke with Mario Van Peebles. He's the director of New Jack City. He was directing some episodes for Empire. And Power as well. And I was like, hey Mario, like I want to do this, but I don't want to be in the background. Like, what should I do? And he was like, well, get with some of these people and make a skit. So I'm still trying to find some people to make a skit with, so I can tag him and be like, yo, I listened to you. Now come sign me. Come put me on. Come get me some gigs.
Yeah. Right.
So I mean, I was just a hustler. I feel like I'm multi-talented. So I jump at anything I feel like I can do, whether it's acting, dancing. I'll start writing music in a minute because I can write some good music. So I just got that idea, like maybe you should start. It literally takes me like that to write a song. So I'm like, maybe I should just use that as a hustle and start writing music. You know what I mean? So
she can freestyle decent too.
You know what, Justin?
So as you're slowly trying to find yourself as an artist, who do you have the what's the words I'm looking for? You're able to dance and rap, basically.
You have a foundation.
You have a foundation of different artistries, but as specifically as a musical artist, how are you trying to approach that? Like, who is Amber the musical artist?
Just giving you Aaliyah vibes, giving you very much Janet Jackson vibes, but I like to call myself a Draker because I'm like a sing rapper, and that's what Drake did for a long time. So like I like to call myself a Draker, but I like blues. So Tyrone Davis, Johnny Taylor, B.B. King. Like my grandma, the music that my grandma used to listen to, that's what makes my soul, like, I feel it in my soul. I like to do like a lot of samples and while staying original, but like I like to, whether it's my beat, my music, I'm still gonna have that blues meets today's music type style because I just love blues. I don't know. I definitely rock with blues.
It's the soul. The music.
Yeah.
Just like that you can like feel it when you're singing it, or when you're like just trying to get that energy that you feel from listening to BB King.
Exactly.
Or all these guys, like you can just feel that in your chest.
So like me as an artist, I would definitely be trying to give you like, cause I'm like a character all around. You've been around me, Giovanni. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, I'm just very much giving you Michael Jackson vibes because I'm gonna do a little acting, throw some acting in there. Oh, I love to act as well. So it's like just trying to use all my talents as well as I'm a hustler. So I think that's gonna get me far. Like,
yeah, well, the way you say you do all these things, whether it's going to China, being on the set of Empire, doing music, you're hustling.
Yeah,
like you're out there hustling to do all this. Is there any what kind of pushes you to have that hustle? Like what drives you as
I'm
a person?
the fifth of 10, all from my mom.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
So my mom, she's 48. She had 10 kids. I'm the fifth one. I'm the middle child.
Okay.
My little sister has Down syndrome. One of my baby's little sister, she has Down syndrome. And she's really been like, she's been giving me the push that I need. She's been my like inspiration. There was times when I was younger where I was like, F life. And then I thought about her and I was like, I can't, because then she'll be so confused. Like, where's Amber? Where's my big sister? What's going on? And she's already, her education is already like postponed just a little bit because of how Down syndrome babies are. So it's like her education and all of that is slightly delayed. And so I don't want to mess up her mental by disappearing off this earth and not her understanding why.
Absolutely.
So like a lot of times where I felt like giving up, I'm like, I can't. I got this big family depending on me. Like my second oldest brother, he was into music. He killed himself. I was 15. He was 21. He would have been going on 32. He killed himself. Me and him was very close. He was my favorite brother. And the way he killed himself, the way it went down, I saw his body. Like, it was all just traumatic to me. You know what I mean? And he killed himself. And my next brother looking at 6 years. My little brother is in jail. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a lot going on where it's almost like I'm the last one. If not just, I have to make something happen. Like, you know what I mean? Because I depend on me. And a lot of my family depend on me. But, honestly, I feel like I can make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what keeps me pushing, because I really want to make my mama proud. Like, everything I do is to make Yvonne Ward proud. Like, I be wanting her to be so happy, and when she's not, I be pissed. You know what I mean? So I guess it's just trying to grind, trying to make a family name. My grandma is suffering from dementia right now to the point where she don't remember me. So it's like I just got to do something before she leaves this earth, you know? Like, I just feel like it's a lot of pressure on me, but good pressure, because I want it, you know what I mean? Just as bad as I need it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
thrive in the pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And I mean, with all that being said, and so much going on in your life and has been going on in your life, it definitely shows within your charisma and who you are, the strength that you carry. Because I mean, like you said, we've been around each other a lot, but at the same time, we don't truly know each other like that. But you probably are one of the strongest people that I've ever met, and I think I've told you before, like,
Yeah.
I've told you before that I look at you and you have all the
You
makings
did.
of what it takes to be a star.
You did tell me
You
that.
feel
I
me?
felt so special.
100%, and it's like I'm Justin.
Because
knows-
you be around me, so you see,
Yeah.
like, yo, this girl's dope.
Yeah, 100%. You know, and I've been blessed to be around dope people and just a lot of people in general. And, you know, everybody in this room, you know, that knows me knows that I don't say things that I don't mean, you know? So,
Well, I appreciate that.
yeah, 100%.
And I also think I'm a learning. It's crazy because I know everything I want to say. I be talking up a storm, and then I get in front of this mic and I can't even think of the words. I don't know if it's a little nervousness. I'm trying to sound a little sexy. I don't know what it is, but the words are just like disappearing right before I say them. But I think I'm learning, you know what I mean? Because like even the situation where someone at the party stole my marijuana and I spazzed out on everybody, and G-Money's like, yo, chill. Ain't nobody steal your weed. But I had to come to you the next day like, look, I was lit at that point. That was after 16 drinks. I apologize. But things like that, it's like you can't possibly expect to make it to a certain level without fixing all those little things that you need to fix. Because what happens when you blow up on the wrong person after you just signed $1 million contract and you lose it like that? You get what I'm saying? So I was a hothead. I've totally switched up. I'm trying to learn. You know, I was in my own way for a long time. So now I'm just trying to do it God's way and trusting God and not Amber. You know what I mean?
It sounds like you haven't reached your pinnacle, but I feel like one thing from what you're saying in regards to like your family and like what you're doing to like make them proud. I don't know if you've done this, but like from what you're saying, it seems like you already accomplished so much to like really let them know like anything is possible. Like going to China, presenting all this stuff. Like I say that to say like, man, staying in that right now, be proud. We got to be happy for ourselves right now too.
Yeah.
And be like, man, look what I'm doing. So with your grandmother, I'm sure, you know,
That hurts
with her
the
going
most.
through that, you feel me? With her going through that, though, I want you to just know, like, well, what you doing, you've done enough for her, for regardless of what you going, even though you gonna reach beyond that. And so, like, just keep that in mind, though.
Yeah, because the last thing like, I know for a fact she was good and well when I was in China. And when I would talk to her, she'd be like, I'm so proud of you, baby. She's like, I'm going to be dead and gone, and you going to be on the stage. She's like, I know you going to blow up. You going to be so big. I'm going to be dead and gone, watch. And I'm like, Grandma, stop saying that.
Yeah.
But I guess Grandma may know what she's talking about.
No, she definitely knows, clearly.
Yeah. And like my grandfather, he passed away a couple of years ago, but he was suffering.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Appreciate it. He suffered from dementia, and probably,
So you know.
Yeah, probably his last like 5 or so years. You know, it was the peak of the dementia, and same thing. You know, I was in school, and I was just really that type of mindset. You got to hustle and you got to grind for the time that you have them. You know, and just kind of on a perspective of his afterlife, you know, and it carries on, you know. It's even more so now every day that I have my conversations with him, you know, whether it's in the mirror, just in solitude, whatever, you know. But even more so now, I feel his presence, and it motivates me to even more. Yeah, to want to strive and grind. Where, you know, it's like your situation's hard, but it seems like you still have pieces around you, right? You know, and for me, it's just my mother and I, you know, so I don't have a lot of those pieces. So it even more so, you know, whether he was alive or now that he's passed, it motivates me 100% to, okay, I got to grind. I got to, within my moments, I got to do what I got to do to transcend, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
just to
like
give
that
you a little
love still
perspective,
there,
it's just
like
the
that
love.
love still there.
The
Yeah.
love
all
never
the time.
leaves.
Yeah.
And if you ever see 444 or 1111 on the clock, if you ever just randomly decide to look at the time, that's when he's watching over you. That's when your angels are watching over you. 444 or 1111.
True. Yeah. So it's just motivation, you know, and
It is.
life is life, and we're
So
all.
you know exactly what I'm going through. It's to the point where I want her to understand, and it's just like how is this happening? Like
It's just out of your control.
it's to the point where I almost can't even talk about it because
Yeah.
I'm be bawling in tears.
Yeah.
It's like this is
Yeah.
my grandma. I've always been a grandma's girl. Moved out of my mom's house into my grandma's house at 16. So it's just like I've been around my grandma.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a confused because it was similar for me because my grandfather he had moved to Texas. He was from Chicago, but he moved to Texas. I'd see him like at least twice a year, which was always a blessing, you know. But he was like my father figure because I never had a father, you know. And when it started hitting those times where you caught that he was slipping, you caught that this wasn't the man that I grew up with, or this isn't the woman that I grew up with. It's almost weirder than if they like traumatically passed away like that, you know, because it's like
it's harder because you're witnessing it, and then I first realized it when I got back from China because I gave my grandma all of my money because I trusted her with my money. So I gave her American money and Chinese money that I wanted to keep. And when I went back to it, it was like hundreds of dollars gone and all the Chinese money was gone. So I'm like, you didn't either show one of your friends your stash and they didn't went back and hit you while you wasn't looking. Or like I was yelling and screaming at her, but then I'm like, Amber, stop. Like think deeper of what's going on. Because at that point she was just starting to misplace everything. So we don't see the signs in the beginning. We just think, Grandma, what's wrong with you? Where's my money? La la la. When you don't even understand that she's in her first stages of like forgetting things. So that's when I first started like realizing it. But she went like at least maybe 2-3 more years being okay, living on her own. But then it got bad.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize until I started doing my research on it that their brain is like slowly deteriorating, like going away. Like their brain is.
Yeah. Is she older?
No, she's in her early 70s. So that's it's like, man. And my mom is like, I know dementia is going to get me because I'm having the same symptoms. I can't remember this and that. And I'm like, you need to stop speaking stuff into existence because I don't want that stuff.
Hey, you know it's gonna be dope though when you come up with that song that does have that blues and soul, like that really smack like that. That's gonna be dope because that's gonna be a special moment for you. You know what I'm saying?
And when my unfortunately I have to say it, but when my grandma do pass, I won't be able to listen to blues. I know it for a fact. I cannot. I grew up knowing blues because of her and her only. I would be crying every single time Tyrone Davis or Johnny Taylor or Tyrone Davis come on, like those are her favorite too. And I know all these songs. Like I can sit up here and sing an entire blues album and I'm 26 years old. You know what I mean? So, and I think about that, like I won't be able to listen to it for a while. It probably would take me a while, you know?
Yeah.
When you come back
Too
to it, it's
deep.
gonna be like that's home. It's like
And then I'll
home.
put it into all that love and emotion into it.
Yeah. It takes time. It definitely takes time, you know, just to, we don't want to, but still, it's just when the day comes and whatever, and it's
I know who I'm calling when the day comes. I'm calling G Money because
I'll be here.
He knows how I feel. He knows what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's been over 2 years now, and the grief doesn't stop. It doesn't stop, and it always sticks with me, especially when it's somebody that's so close to you and you know
I think
so
about my
well.
brother all the time.
Yeah, but it's what makes you who you are, and like you've already said, it's what pushes you to go harder, and that's what makes you the strong woman that you are, and you just got to take the positivity out of it, that's all you can really do. Just appreciate the time that you still have and the time that you have always had, and that encapsulates the charisma and the person that you are, and it's gonna take you to great heights. So
thank you, I appreciate that.
100%. So speaking of which, those heights, where do you see yourself moving forward? What are you aspiring to do and aspiring to be?
Well, I'll give you a couple term goals. In 5 years, obviously I would like to drop some albums, have the world know me as an artist. But my goal after, because I want to like stick and move. I don't want to get caught up in anything, or I don't want to stay for too long.
Yeah.
I want to get my feet wet, do some things big, move around to the next adventure. So like, I want to be a NASCAR driver at some point in my life.
Hey, that's
Justin will tell you, I literally drive like I got somewhere to be, and it makes my blood boil when I drive fast. I don't know. It just makes me happy. I don't know what it is about driving fast, but I like it. So at some point, I want to be a NASCAR driver somewhere throughout my life. And I also want to have a TV show based on serving. I want to have like a competition show based on serving. Like I want to either be the host or be an executive producer or somewhere, because I was always a server since I was younger. It's really been my main job, and I know a lot of stuff that go down with serving. But I want to make it like a competition show where you get timed on your tip, you get timed on your greeting, you get timed on this, and it's like the best servers from the best restaurants around the world like competing, something like that, you know?
Hey, don't
like,
give out too much sauce.
Exactly, because they be stealing people's ideas, but you heard it here first. So if I see that show in the near however many years, just know I'm coming for what a camera.
Right there.
Just know I'm coming for you.
Amber on Northside Plug. We'll date it too. February 20th, 2020.
Don't try to steal my shit.
Dang, I forgot what year it was. I'm like, what?
Don't try to steal it, because you heard it here.
Yeah, don't steal. Let's copyright it pending.
Okay.
Pending copyright. I just put a thing into the patent office, so we're working on it as we speak.
Okay.
You know, gonna steal a bar stool. It'll be like a bar stool.
True. Hey, so I got an interesting question. So you mentioned that you're roommates with our beloved Justino Cochino.
Yes.
What is that dynamic, and how did it bring you to here right now?
Well, I met Justin a couple years ago at Pinstripes when I was working there as a server, and so I've known him from the last couple years, you know, and I never thought that I would live with him, like ever in life. You know, only not saying it like that, just saying it like literally, if you see your coworker walking around, you don't think that you're gonna end up living with your coworker. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like that. But I was looking for a room because I was traveling in and out, moved to California, moved back, things went down, things went left. So I was just literally in town, out of town. And I'm like, I need to just sit down. I need to sit down for a second. And so our mutual friend Daryl was like, well, Daryl was roommating with him at the time, and their room had just opened up. And he's like, I'm tired of paying all this rent, girl. Come get this room. And I'm like, okay, put the word in with Justin. But it was God, because Justin and me are like, we can make some magic happen on this music stuff. And it was like, look at, God has literally put my vocal trainer over here, my producer engineer over here. I'm good to go. You know what I mean? So and he's a great photographer. He's done a couple photo shoots. You know, he's let me use his camera to, you know, snap a couple photos of him. So I think it started out as a roommate situation, but we're like, we get up and brainstorm about ways where we can make different things happen. Like, we're trying to make money out the crib, turn it into photo booths, all type of stuff, like turn it into an in-house studio. Like, we're like getting up and brainstorming, like trying to challenge ourselves to make things happen. So I really think it was just God, you know. I was looking for a room, and God put me in the best situation.
Yeah. There's something revolving around Justino, bro, because like everything that he touches or everything that he gets around, like
Boom.
Things just kind of work out. You know, that's kind of similar how Justin and I linked up, and it's just crazy how it's all meshed to where it's at now. You know, and it's just funny from when I met Justin freshman year of college, which would have been 5 or 6 years ago now, you know, for him. Because I'm telling you, this man was fresh out of Yorkville. You feel me? Fresh out of the burbs. And it's just funny to see him in a situation now where he's deep in Chicago, you know, got 2 super dope roommates, you know, and exactly what you said, like how it all came together, and y'all, you know, are such an interesting dynamic, you know. But I feel like if y'all could, you know, communicate, figure out what y'all gotta do, it can really work out well. And
I definitely think like we're learning and piggybacking off each other. Like, you know, I'm learning the more, how should I put this? the more calm way to approach things thanks to him. And like he's learning how to turn up when he needs to, period. And don't take nothing from nobody.
Yeah.
And I see it more and more. And I'm like, that's the Justin I need you to be. Don't take nothing off nobody. Don't let nobody take advantage of you or treat you any type of way. This ain't that, period.
Yeah.
So we're definitely learning some things from each other.
100% real talk. When can we expect this collab tape, song, anything?
I just was telling him today, Justin, hello, we got to get on it.
I know. Well,
So,
you was rapping all this other good stuff that you're too nervous to
no,
show us today.
Oh, she
You know
finna
what I
drop
mean?
bars?
I was in my room, like just, playing around. Here comes Justin. Yo, that shit is hot. Oh, sorry.
$25.
That stuff is hot.
But yes, I was in there working on some stuff. But I got a lot of my raps and stuff has severe profanity. So I'm gonna rearrange some things, come back down here and slide on y'all and just be ready for that.
Hey, that's
Did
on
you
my
just say
beat.
my nickname?
Your nickname. I just say the thing that you say.
Did you just say Zoom Zoom?
I said zoom zoom.
Don't say my nickname on national.
You
We on
saying it's your
national TV.
nickname. I didn't say it was your nickname.
Like
I was throwing a little subliminal something out there.
my
You-
oldest brother gave me that nickname when I was like 10 because he said all I did was ran around. I was in the alley playing ball with the boys. I was riding the bikes, falling off the bikes, getting bruises all over my body. He said I never sat down. So he gave me the nickname Zoom Zoom. And now everybody says that I know my family is begging or trying to finesse me when they start the conversation off. Zoom Zoom. Or what's up, Zoom Zoom? And I'm like, what do you want? Soon as they call me Zoom Zoom, I know they begging. Unfortunately, they want something if they start the conversation off with Zoom Zoom.
Wow.
We waiting on that track.
Definitely.
I was scrolling through my phone. I was like, I actually just found the beat on some random stuff. I thought about you. I was like, yo, we gotta
Which
get this
one?
cracking. Remember when we were at the crib that one day and
the-
I was making that beat and you were like, Zooms. I ain't gonna say all the lyrics and stuff.
Wait, which one? Y'all be making on so many beats, and I like them all.
I don't even know what it's called or something. It was that day when Ivy was there, Daryl was there.
Oh yeah,
and
when
you
we
was
was.
Y'all was going
freestyling.
on
Oh,
rides.
I was in the zone that
Yeah,
morning.
yeah.
Them metaphors was
We
coming
gotta
out
make
left
that
and
a
right.
song. We gotta make that a song.
Yeah.
'Cause that was
Oh
popular.
yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, in a pink Mercedes, you
Yeah,
like it crazy. Yes, we'll do it on the daily and make me a Birkin baby. Okay,
Yeah.
now that one was hot,
Yeah, that
but
was
it's a lot
big.
of profanity in there.
That's all good.
The first line in a pink Mercedes, you eat this pussy like it great. You see why I can't? You let you hear nothing. It's too much.
I checked off.
John will be coming in here
Hold
putting
on,
a
is that
song
a-
out.
Is that a profane word? Is that word profanity? I didn't know that.
In terms of
Oh.
the FCC and the radio of where we are, yeah, I guess.
I
He's
don't
got
know.
to savor this song. I don't know.
That's a good question. I'm gonna look
Savor
it up.
this song.
We should for the sake of.
John is gonna be walking in. All right, guys,
What
time to head out.
What words are okay on the radio? Literally, just look that up.
I think it's like the BITCH, ASS.
Well, I don't know because
Start
like
spelling
See how
all the
I gotta
words.
spell it out. I can't even say it.
Right.
even on TV, like within the
They be
past
saying a
5,
lot
10,
of
they've said a
different
lot
stuff.
more,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Like some words
Times
that you
have
couldn't say,
changed.
you
Well,
could
there's a
definitely
period
say.
in like Comedy Central where they'll just like air all that David Chappelle like raw as
Oh,
hell.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like most of it unfiltered. I miss those days.
But
Bruh.
even on just like regular TV now, they're still more open with it, you know. Whereas opposed to 5, 10 years ago, I don't know.
Or even the type of like contextual jokes and stuff
Yeah,
they'll make,
yeah.
like in like the type of jokes they'll make in like cartoon shows and stuff like that. Or
Yeah.
they would only do it in like Cartoon Network or Adult Swim. Whereas now you watching like Trolls or you watching something and they get all types of these sexual innuendos.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
hold
yeah.
up. But I guess
Yeah.
even back in the day, Mickey Mouse had like a boner, so whatever.
It was like subtle stuff, you know, but like on certain channels they'll say more swear words than they would ever stuff. But I definitely feel what you're saying. I don't know. I feel like with social media now and kids are exposed to so much more.
Desensitized to everything.
Yeah, you go on TV and it's like it
But-
ain't nothing I haven't already seen.
But that's so crazy because you can't really say like agate.
Your phone picking up everything.
She said, I don't know how to respond to that.
We got
you-
Siri live on Northside Plug.
Right.
You
Hey, shout
can't
out to
you can't say agate, but you can say igger.
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird. You can like everywhere you go on radio, on TV, on Facebook, when you make a status, you can't say homophobic things, but you can say nigger, nigger, nigger.
She
has the pass. She can say it.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
I don't think the FCC gives her the pass.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
I know, I
Okay,
understand the
alright.
point, but like the fact.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
I think that's
Shout
what I'm
out
saying,
to
like, 'cause
John.
People of that may be able to say that word.
Love
of
you, John.
whatever
I
that,
promise
you know
I'm
what
100% black.
Then
Yeah.
you know.
No, I get the point. Yeah.
Because
I
we
get
kind of took that word
I don't
back.
kind of like
you know?
I don't like that
Yeah.
though. Personally.
Sorry,
I
John.
dare the
I am
FCC
so,
to come
so
and be
sorry.
like, yeah, you as a black woman can't use that word. It's like,
And it's like, oh yeah, well you as a woman can kiss my. Sorry. See,
Good bleeps. We'll bleep that out later in post production.
baby.
We'll bleep those out in post production.
See, I am the type. I gotta
Wait, we
practice
live?
for radio.
Now you gotta say zoom every time she say a cuss.
Right.
Zoom, zoom.
There it is. Zoom.
Zoom bell.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Nah, but you're definitely right.
Yeah, I
You
gotta
know,
make a zoom bomb. zoom. Every time somebody curse.
the point is valid. The point is definitely valid, you know, and I feel like it kind of goes on to what you were saying earlier with like D Wade's son, you know, and they're trying to exploit African American culture and normalize some things, and you know, but other things are bad, you know. So it's just like it's creating. Society tries, or especially this society tries to create fine lines of what we can and what we can't do, who can say what and who can't say what, you know. And I don't know. At the end of the day, I feel like, you know, we all know the history, you know, and we're slowly trying to unravel everything. And I think in that type of sense, it's up to African American culture to, you know, as I don't want to say that culture or whatever, you know, but
Yeah, but I get what you're saying.
you're trying to find yourself in this new era of what society is, right?
And you just got to educate ourselves and understand, because that's been going on since slavery.
100%.
They literally used to tie the black man down and bring his wives and daughters and sisters in and like go crazy on his from the backside.
Yeah.
Go crazy on him in front of all his family members. What is the point of you doing that, sir? And so years and years and years later, it will never be on the same level. Let them tell it.
Sure.
They don't want to see us get there. You know what I mean? They want to keep us. And sometimes that's the smarter route to go, because when you take the Malcolm X route, when you take the Martin Luther King route, you see where they at. You know what I mean? So this is just, you know, they did fight for us and all of that, but at the same time, they wasn't here to enjoy life.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then you still got people turning around, disrespecting their name, disrespecting their legacy, not really understanding it. So it's just like, this has been going on since back then, and it's still their way of controlling us, keeping us inside a certain box and not allowing us mentally. Because black people can get on every level. We are already on most levels, if not past them. But if they mentally keep us somewhere, then we're going to stay there for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing. They're mentally slaving us now.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know, on the topic of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and from my perspective, I'm Latino, you know, so I'm Mexican and Irish, but I identify more as Mexican.
I'm Irish too.
Hey, shout out. And how I be feeling,
She gave me the look.
how I be feeling for the Hispanic community, which is similar to, you know, Black African American community, is like, I feel like in today's age, we don't have anybody that's really speaking out for us, right?
Yeah.
And even within the African American community, you know, ever since Martin Luther King Jr., ever since Malcolm X, the way, and, you know, even Tupac, Biggie, you know, like, you have all of these influential figures that go out the way that they did, you know.
Because
so,
Martin Luther King, I got to take that back. He made some stuff happen.
100%.
So I scratch all
They
that.
all did, you know,
For
but
real.
I feel like now it's the sense of like, I don't know if people are just like scared to go that route because they already know the end result.
Yeah.
Or is it the system having created situations like Martin Luther King? You know, they all go
To
out the
scare
same
us
route
all.
so that if Amber wants to be you know,
We're going to make example.
right, whatever, you're gonna be the next example, and for everybody, you know, to look up to. But in the back of your mind, you're scared to pursue that route because you already know this is how it's happened. How
I think
do we?
it's a little bit of that, and also majority of it is out of our control. Unfortunately,
100%.
it's so blown out of our control. And we as a people, if we as a people don't come together and understand what's going on, it ain't nothing individually. Nobody can. It's too far gone.
Yeah.
You know, so because us as a people, we can overturn the government and anybody else, but that's gonna take a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, bro, I think it's also like, what are we paying attention to? You feel me? Because I think it's a lot of people who have initiatives and doing things that don't necessarily get the shine or the limelight that it deserves. So there's people who are definitely not shying away from all from Hispanic communities, from all kind of brown communities, from white communities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, there's people who doing those things, but at the same time, what's entertaining is what we pay attention to,
or what they push.
What
it's
they
what they
push
constantly push in our timelines.
Yeah,
mainstream
so it's like
culture.
exactly. So whatever hit the algorithm, quote unquote, you feel me?
Yeah.
And most of the time, the thing is gonna be what's the most entertaining, what's violent. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that's gonna be
What's messy, ratchet,
So
drama.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, as far as the individual, we gotta like take that initiative and like just expose ourselves to something different. You feel me? Like go to one of these community events that somebody doing. Like look, we can Google it and we can like, or on a platform like this.
Exactly.
Hey yo, at this day, this time, these people doing this, and we have to make it a point to do that. Like when I was talking about, I'm in the real estate, you immediately said, well, you need to know about this person. And then next time somebody else said that, hey, you need to check out that dude. Somebody, Amber put me on Zoom. You feel me? So we can do.
You know what?
But still, like, man, I think that's the way we move. Cause like, cause then it's more influential when you telling me, cause I know you now. Well, I know G Money. I know everybody. You feel me? Like, we can come in and we can be like, man, this is how this works.
100%.
Then the mindsets change because now you involving yourself. You got a family full of people. Right? I got people in jail and doing woo, but now I can like my sister can do this. My brother, my sons, whatever. Yeah. That's the real move. It's a step by step, but it's people making moves. For real,
Yeah.
for real.
100%. Like you said, like that's the beauty of a platform like Northside Plug. That's the beauty of a place like Q4, and you know what you're trying to do with your podcast. You know, stuff like everything that we're doing in this room and just the collective of what we're creating. You know, I think overall as millennials and as the new generation, like we're in a very, going back to the key term, fine line, right? You got the baby boomers, you got, you know, Generation X, whatever, and then you got us millennials, Gen Z. It's like, it's the shift of power and control, right? You know, and it's like we're talking about these platforms, they, you know, they're not representing us the right way, yada, yada, yada. Well, right now we're just getting our toes wet. We're just getting our feet wet in creating our reality, creating our world, literally doing,
we're starting our journeys.
Yeah, we're doing what we're doing and saying what the world that we want to live in right now. Like everything that you guys said and that we're saying is manifesting what we're trying, where we're trying to be and who we're trying to be moving forward. So to shout out for all the kids and for everybody that's listening to this right now, you know, this is what's going on in the streets. This is what's going on in the communities. This is, you know, this is how we feel. These are the beliefs, you know, and you look literally at this panel right here. You got any and every type of person, you know. It's like we're all one. We're all combined in the same situation. We're just all from different areas and have gone through different stuffs, but one conscious. I thought you was Justin the whole time.
Also, if you're listening to this, especially to the younger kids, just know that you can do anything. And I know, you know, it's cliche, you hear it all the time, but literally you have to put your mind over everything. It's mind over matter. You can do it, and it's not a fairy tale. It's not easy. It'll never be handed to you. You gotta go take it, unfortunately. You know, and I feel like I'm angry at my mama for that one thing. Why would you raise me up? Like, making me think life was a fairy tale. I didn't know life was gonna smack me off my feet the second I walked across that stage.
I feel like that was the
Jesus.
The culture. I feel like the culture of our parents, like they was taught to like, their thing was all they knew was go to school for the most part. They knew go to school, go to college, and us going to like, let's say you went to college or whatever, like that was a dramatic shit, bro. Cause like now it's almost worthless. You feel me? Like but it's that saturated. Was all they had exposure to. So now the hard part is like we said, kids are desensitized to like what's going on.
Exactly.
They just constant exposure, but at the same time, it's almost they don't have that time frame to get the slap in the face. Like they getting slapped in the face all the time. Yeah. And it's like, what's the balance? Like, is there about there at this point? There's almost no more barrier unless there's a severe supreme takeover, which could happen.
Yeah.
However, like you said, we speak for the future, but the future opinions and views may be way different for better or worse. Who's to determine?
This next generation, I don't know what's going on. You born after '96, I don't know what's up with you, and I don't think I want to know.
They doing the same thing we was. The bro, we was wilding out.
No, now they a little bit more wild now.
If you really think about it, like we all go off of what the media go off of.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying that be the trend, and like that's what's raising
that's how
society.
they control us.
You know, like society go off of what the media tell us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we just got to change the narrative, fix the system. You know, it's not the people, it's the system. We letting the system control.
The people are the system.
Yeah,
in a way.
It shouldn't be a system. It should just be people. You know,
the system is a system. It's gonna be the system when all us right here is dead and gone. So it's about learning how to say, I ain't gonna let this system define me or my people. I'm gonna move around it. I'm gonna put a hole in it. I'm gonna do what I gotta do because that system gonna be there. The media and why y'all think every time something drastic happens that hurt us, here they come trying to distract us with something that we don't even really care about, but it's just as important. So it's just as much as in our timeline as what, like when Kobe Bryant died. Now here they come talking about Donald Trump and all this. Like we don't care about none of that right now. We trying to grieve. Don't nobody care about Donald, you know. But it's like every time something drastic happen, here they come with the distraction. Like the IRS holding people taxes. They said he want to talk about everything else. Where is these people money? Y'all talking about all the stuff that we don't care about. Where is these people finances? You know what I mean?
But can we keep it 100? Some of that stuff be super funny. I ain't gonna lie. I be on Twitter like, oh, they
the IRS statuses had me rolling. I ain't gonna lie.
I didn't even know that's what was going on. I just kept thinking people want their taxes.
Nah, they holding them for sure. I think they just started dropping today though, so people getting happy.
All of that stuff is just
but it's normally the beginning of February.
Exactly.
Or at least by Valentine's Day, at least by the 14th. Always, every year, you should get your taxes. This year, they acting funny.
Yeah, but all of that stuff, that's like just a distraction, you know? It's all a distraction, distracting other people from pursuing what they really want to do.
And you gotta realize, like I feel like we're the minority in the sense of like, we're free thinkers, right? We have the ability to be able to put our conscience into that type of mindset where the majority of people, the masses, those are the people that eat that up, that get sucked into, okay, sure, like we're over here grieving for Kobe and understand that, okay, this is everything that's going on in the world, but at the same time, like, you need this time to breathe, right? But the masses, the majority of people, like, that don't understand that world or don't understand the whatever the situation is at hand and just eats up the Tekashi 6ix9ines, the Donald Trump type of stuff. It's just like unfortunately there's more of those people than people like us. And that's what we're saying is like we have to be the ones that change the narrative. We have to become the majority.
I gonna say,
right?
What do y'all do? What do y'all do individually? Like when y'all feel like there's things put in it like are kind of planted. You feel me? How do you remove yourself from that in that moment?
Like in a negative situation?
Yeah, like something's negatively planted or meant to distract you or to pull you from what your mind, your open consciousness to be. Yeah. How do you remove yourself from that?
Really?
Like this, y'all can.
I'm selfish, so like I don't let nobody get the best of me. Like I think like who is you to get under my skin? You ain't important enough. And then you want to talk to, like, and then I also got the mentality if you don't know how to fight, you shouldn't argue.
100%.
So I'm not about to argue with you if you don't know how to fight.
But how you don't know how to fight until you start fighting though.
Yeah. And I think he's saying like more like if you're in a situation and somebody try to sabotage you or somebody backdoor you and mess up a gig for you or something like that.
Specifically, like let's say we could take the Kobe Donald Trump thing, like whichever, because both we can say both things are important. You feel me? But if you feel in some kind of way and you feel like, okay, now this is being highlighted now to overthrow the fact that maybe Donald Trump releasing people from jail that don't even release from jail. Like, so how do you just kind of like, how do you get back to make yourself
I
right
deactivate my Facebook for a couple days. I've done it. I always find myself deactivating my Facebook and just not going on IG because sometimes it is too toxic and I find myself silently competing with people and looking at other people's lives, getting slightly jealous. So sometimes I have to deactivate it because it can become stressful and overwhelming.
100%. And I think there's only so much that the individual can do, right? You know, so it comes down to what are you going to entertain and what are you going to put your focus on, right? Yeah. And that whatever choice is made by the individual, I think those are true like character showers, you know. So it's like if I'm gonna entertain this person that's bashing me or putting me down and whatever, and I'm gonna clap back and I'm gonna go on social media and try to fight this war or whatever, I feel like that's just showing me that showing the people that I'm weak and that I can allow things to get at me easily and feel like that I have to make a public scene, where it's like personally, in whatever situation, I'm always gonna stand my ground to what I feel is true to my values and my morals, and whether I feel like it's a situation that I have to be a little more aggressive and you know, physically assert myself, or it's a situation where I understand that I don't need to say one word to show you that I'm 100% about what I believe in.
That's true.
You know, like I can stand here in silence and show you that this is true to me, and I don't care what you're saying or thinking, because it's irrelevant to me, because I know what's true, you know. Yeah. But everyone's different, you know, and everybody, you know, that's where everybody can pursue that type of mindset. But you know, you may be coming from one stance, I may be coming from another, Dan may be coming from another, and it's like we may all mean well, but how our approach may be clashing, you know. So it's all subjective.
Yeah.
Dan, you got something you do specific? You got something you doing specifically, or?
I guess nothing really specific. I mean, I guess the social media purge is something that I've been trying to do more. I guess of just like when something's going on your, like when I scroll Twitter, like I find myself scrolling through Twitter way too often, and like when I feel like when something comes up that's like irks me or just makes me angry or something I don't want to see, and like that, like, or like when someone comments on something just trying to like pull it the other direction of like, I don't know, like just whatever, just trying to like step back and just like kind of just I don't even know how to describe it, just kind of separate, just create some space and like because I feel a lot of the times with the media, like we were just talking about, like there's sure you can kind of with social media you can kind of pick and choose what you kind of follow, and like literally on Twitter you follow certain accounts, but somehow it always the big stuff.
Well, you create your own bubble too, and that's also a problem. I think.
Right, because then you are totally voidant of other things.
Exactly, you close minded, because like so sometimes what I do is like I think like this. Not saying they wrong. I mean, because I can feel like you wrong and think you wrong. But at the same time, I just try to, in that moment, I look at it like, what's going on? You feel me? Like, what would make you think this way? So to your point though, also I do a lot. I've been doing a lot more of that. Like, I don't need to be in this space right now. Let me remove this. Like, I don't give a dang how many people like my pictures or comment under my pictures. You feel me? None of that. Like, bro, all that don't matter. Like, I like touching people individually. Like, if I can touch one person, I don't care about 100,000, like 100,000 followers. Like, if in this moment it's me and you, then that's all that matters. Like,
and there's a lot of people that's just evil. I see top stars getting ate alive for no reason, just because people are out there mad and miserable. So one thing I love about myself is I literally don't give up what nobody say about me. Like, literally, it's just like, oh well.
I mean, with that,
oh well.
I'm a firm believer in balance. Like, everything is balance. Like, you got online, it's gonna be people who gonna be fans of you. Like, it's gonna be people who love you. Like, you know what I'm saying? As long as you just being you, you gotta learn, you know what I'm saying, what your craft is, what your niche is. And, you know, please yourself.
And that's it.
And a lot of people just looking for a response, like for real. So like people just, they want your attention so bad that this is where we mess up, as in a lot of famous people too. Whatever, like we mess up feeding into the negativity, and like it's like though we know, like I was watching some of the Kevin Hart joint on Netflix. And he was talking about like how a dude left a comment how it was one of the worst specials. He sent him like a $10,000 bottle of champagne, and you know, with a postcard of him, and he said, you know, oh yeah, I'm King Petty, and I'm thinking to myself like, he came up, bro. I got a free $10,000 bottle of champagne. You feel me? Like, I just won that battle. Like, and I got clout, and now I'm on Netflix. You mentioned me, and people are going to look for that comment. So now I'm super clouded up. I got a $10,000 bottle of champagne, and you know what I'm saying. So, but what if the person who you know what I'm saying, been your hero, your super fan, your super cheerleader, and then you see something like that and they defending you, and not saying right or wrong, it's just more like, yo, you been rocking with me, let me get you something, you feel me? Now it's like, yo, that person might break down crying and enjoy it, you feel me? And why not celebrate those people, you feel me? Like,
True.
like the dude can be mad about what they mad about, but like, I much rather support my mans who like been holding me down, rocking with me, like, yo. But we feed off that, just like they feed off us responding and giving them that attention. We feed off that negativity, and I'll just be like, I ain't gonna say I never pay attention, but I try to be like, nah, let me find somebody who gonna not just reinforce what I'm thinking, but just to reinforce the vibe. You ain't gotta think how I think, but you gotta come with some energy that makes sense.
Comes down to respect. It comes down to being real and being respectful, and to be honest, that's what I learned from like going to school with Dan and Justin and everybody, because like coming from Chicago, I don't know, like I'm mixed, bro, so I've always been able to mesh with everybody, but it was like, I don't know, bro, it was a different world going to Loyola, and it was just like I had to find certain scenarios where it was like, this person doesn't come from the world that I come from. We don't exactly agree with each other, say politically or whatever, but we respect each other. It's all love at the end of the day. I don't care that you're thinking how you're thinking, and you don't care how I'm thinking. Like, sure, there's things that okay, I don't, but it's just like, but at the end of the day, it comes down to that human connection where it's like, when it comes down to a real situation, I always know that you got my back, and you should always know that I got your back. And I feel like that's the roots of humanity, bro. It's the simplicity of humanity, where it's just like, it doesn't matter where any of us have come from, or it comes down to the character of who we are, and it comes down to respect. I feel like that's the one of the biggest words that just there is respect. Understanding, respect, and understanding. Balance,
empathy.
Empathy.
Hey, Amber, can I ask you one question real quick? China, what was that experience like for you? First of all, how long were you there?
I was there from November 2015 to March 2016.
How was that experience in regards to like coming from Chicago and going out there and being probably one of the few brown skinned people out there, and being a woman and being out there from a whole nother mindset? What did that do for you?
I had to pray a lot because I was dating a guy that I left my car with, and he decided to cheat on me the second I got on the plane. So I was feuding a lot with the girl that I was being cheated on with, and which caused me, like, I would be about to get on stage and I'm crying, and my dance father pulls me to the side and he's like, Amber, you have to get it together. Wipe your face. We got to go on this stage. So it was like that first month was hard. I literally had to like pray, and it would be times where I trashed my hotel room. Like, it was hard. But I had to understand, like, look at where you are, and I had to like put that over it, but it messed me up, so it was just hard. But once I finally like got some strength and understood where I was, it was great. The food was the least favorite, but everywhere I went, people like recorded me as if I was already famous. Like, I would just be sitting at the airport, and I got this Chinese lady just like,
she just ain't never
just recording my every move, and I'm like. And then like we would be playing Uno, and they would crowd around us and record us. We would like jump double dutch at the train stations, and we would have 1,000 people around us. We would leave out our hotel, and literally the whole block is just out there, like we were Beyonce and her crew. But it was because there weren't any. They've never seen a black person ever.
It's like seeing them out here, like taking photos of snow and stuff like that. Like, look at this. Like, they on FaceTime with people, like, they ain't never seen snow.
So
like, it
was definitely a great
That's the only reason I
experience.
really want to go to China, low key, just so I can be black with a
Not
beard.
now with that coronavirus. You don't want to go now.
I want to go now still.
But I mean, it's especially like in doing what we're all doing, it's like to be able to go to China, or be able to go to Indonesia or whatever, and that's how you pop off. You feel me?
I ain't gonna lie, it was dope. All the people I met basketball players that were playing overseas. I met nurse and doctors. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it was lit, but it was hard. That's why, like, if I can't honestly plan my life, but I would just prefer to be single. You know, that's where I'm at right now, and then
That's responsibility.
because because I don't even gotta worry. I sleep fine at night. Close my eyes and I'll be all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When the time comes, like it's gonna be something that you're just gonna know. You know,
Yeah.
for all of us. You know, we're always gonna know when it's that person, when it's that right person.
Nah, cause I've been fooled by some good ping ping.
We all have. We all.
You know
have.
what I
Hold
mean?
on, we all have.
No,
we
wait,
have
wait.
not.
Like that.
No, we have not.
We've all.
I don't
Wait
know.
a minute.
G-Money.
No.
He didn't put
I
y'all
didn't
out
mean-
there.
no, stop,
You know
stop. I
something.
didn't mean it like
I'm
that.
Irish too, but I don't know.
Stop. No. I meant we've all been misconstrued by other people. I don't
got
mean
you,
stop
bro.
trying to stop trying to direct me in my own
You
stroke.
said
bro.
it, bro. You
No,
said
I didn't
it.
mean it like that.
I had
bro.
to exploit the flaw.
Cause she said ping ping, bro. I was agreeing with her, and then she said ping ping.
Hey,
I was
it's
like,
cool,
Right,
do
right.
you, brother?
no, in general.
No, G
Nah,
Money.
stop, bro.
G Money's.
You can walk your
G-Money
way out.
like
Bro. That's
Nani.
what you could do, bro. That's what
Alright,
you could do.
Time to head out.
No, but I'm just saying we've all been misconstrued by people and by loved ones that we thought, you feel me, we all thought was real at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, I feel like you just gotta stay true to yourself, and the right people are gonna come around, and you're just gonna kind of know. That is what I meant, my friend.
You're still on air, Justin.
All right.
I feel like
Shout out
this is
to
a good time
John.
to,
We love you, John.
I think
Thank
that's
you
a
for
great,
making it all possible.
great time to
This is a
wrap
good
up.
time to
Nice
wrap up
setup,
the
John.
show.
I love it here.
We want to thank all our guests for coming on today. Our special guest Amber, thank you for coming on
you.
as always. You're now part of the Northside Plug family, as everyone here
100%.
knows. So I mean, you live with our producer, so you're pretty much in the family anyway.
Right?
But thank you all for tuning in as always. Yeah.
It's taking an awkward turn.
Yo, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yes.
March
What's going on in 2 weeks?
6th. Thank
March
you,
6th.
Michael. March 6th. Showcase here at Q4 Radio. It is on our Facebook page. Make sure you check it out. Check out the page on Facebook. There's a Facebook event. Check it out. We're gonna have a great event here. It's gonna be amazing. So
Why you didn't tell
please
me
come
about
out
that,
there.
Justin?
It's gonna
Me
be
and my
amazing.
girls could have shut that down.
Well, y'all can shut it down on March 6th.
Yeah, don't
Right here at
Hey,
Q4.
John, I'm about to handle this.
Q4.
7:30.
Why wouldn't you
Thank
tell
you
me?
all for
Pull up.
tuning in as always. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Follow us on all your favorite social medias, and yeah,
Justin.
there it is.
Northside Plug. We'll be back next Thursday.
Go Blurs.
Tune in.
Justin,